All right. All right, let's get started getting the blood flowing through our body today with some jumping jacks here. So you can tap your toes out to the side if your ankles are stiff or if you don't like high impact in the morning, or you can jump into those jumping jacks. It's totally up to you here. We're just trying to get the blood flowing. So whatever you decide to do, drop the shoulders away from the ears, create some space there. And let's start at the fingertips, spreading them as far apart from each other as you can. Feel that stretch go through the palm, through the forearm, and really start reaching your arms as big as you can, like you're encountering a bear in the forest. And now we're still getting the blood flowing, but our shoulders are probably getting tired. So we're going to bring the arms down and back with those heel jacks as the legs continue. Drop the shoulders low once again. You want to feel the stretch right across here. So if your hands are down here, you might not feel it. If your hands are up here, you might not feel it. We want to find that right spot right in between where you're going to get that nice stretch across your chest. We've got 20 seconds to go. Keep focusing on where those shoulders are, how far your fingers are apart from each other. Good. All right. 3, 2, 1. You can let those arms drop down. We're going to do a big inhale as we sweep our arms in front of us. Try to reach up at that ceiling, tilting the chin up. As the arms come back around us, we're going to kick a foot out, hinge our butt backwards, and try to see how low you can come towards that foot. Inhale up, big stretch through the front of the body. Exhale, big stretch through the back of the body. So as we're doing these stretches here, I want you to focus on where your tailbone is. As you come down to sweep the hands, you want to be pointing that tailbone as high up the wall behind you as you can. That's going to give us that really good stretch down the back of the leg here. Following the timing of our breath, not timing the breath to our movement. Can you feel that stretch through the belly, through the front of the neck and chest as you sweep those hands up and then back down? One more per side. Inhale up and exhale down. Good. Coming up now, standing into our squat stance, just a little bit wider than our hip distance apart. Slight bend in the knees, hands on the hips. And we're going to start sending those hips around in a circle. Start that circle nice and small, keeping your center of gravity between your feet. And as you get loosened up, we're going to slowly start making that circle a little bit bigger and bigger. Really focusing on where the tightness is through our body and slowing down through there to give your body an opportunity to adjust and adapt. So one full breath cycle per circle. Let's go ahead and go one more big circle here, and then we're going to switch to the opposite side or the opposite direction. Remembering we want to start that circle small. And every circle you can start getting a little bit bigger. Just assessing how that hip line is feeling. So for myself, what I'm really feeling now as I go both directions is the front of this hip feels tight. Regardless of what direction I'm going or which side I am, that's kind of the nagging point. Good assessment for me to remember. Good. Last big circle now, this direction. And as we come up to that tall stand, you can keep your feet where they are, or you can bring them a little closer if you're more comfortable. We want to keep that nice stable base here. Anchor the feet into the floor. We're going to reach one hand down along our leg as we exhale, really stretching out this arm here to get the stretch. Inhale to come back up and exhale off to the opposite side. Following the timing of our breath here. If you're finding that it hurts your back in your spine to do the crunch, just reach with the arm. Even just pulling that arm up and around stretches out the musculature here. So we don't have to go all the way into our side bend if it's not comfortable. We're going to move through this now. So if you're like myself and you felt that you had that tightness more on the front of the hip here, we're going to run the hand down along the back of our leg, and we're going to reach our hand backwards adding in that crunch or that lean back if you can, to really think about feeling the muscles pull off the front of our hip bone here. So angling slightly backwards and towards the side. You can do this with just the reach of the arm and still feel the stretch. If you want to take it deeper, you get into that lean. We need that nice stable base so we don't fall over and so that we feel the stretch appropriately. Now, if you're someone who feels that you're tighter more off the back of the hip bone, we're going to do the opposite, running that hand down along the front. And as we lean forward, it's really kind of rounding your spine into the tight area. So it's kind of like you're reaching up and over a wall, not just straight forward for something. Just practicing reaching into those big candy bowls for Halloween, taking that candy that you want. Good. One more per side here. Any direction, any variation that feels good for you. Coming up to a full stand, we're going to do a little neck and shoulder work before we go down to the ground to continue with our hip movement. So we're going to start with your right ear going to your right shoulder. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. You can see how my face wants to turn here. And that shows where my tightness is. So keep your face forward. I should see all of your beautiful faces facing forward. And we're just tilting from one side without letting that nose go down. And then up and back to the other side. Do you have one side that's tighter than the other? Which side are you finding that is? If you're letting your shoulders lift, you can clasp your hands behind your back here and then go side to side. That's going to help keep those shoulders down so that we get a better stretch. The next one we're going to go into is forward and backwards. So tucking your chin down towards your neck. And then up, lifting your chin towards the ceiling. And we want to make sure that it's just our neck moving right now. So you're not letting the shoulders round. You're not leaning backwards. So feel the stretch right from the base of the skull down to the top of those shoulder blades. And then feel the stretch from the chin all the way down to the chest. So we're going to take this a little bit bigger. Next time you tuck the chin, I want you to tuck the chin and let the shoulders start to roll forward. And as you lift the chin up, let the rib cage lift. Exhale, tuck the chin down. Let the shoulders roll. Inhale up. So affecting that upper back and upper chest. Last one. Good. With the shoulders now. Last week we did that single arm shoulder car. We're going to do a double arm swing today. So big thumbs, thumbs pointing forward. We're going to go up as high as we can. Rotate those palms to the outside. Pinkies go backwards and we really open up our chest to swing down along. Thumb goes up. When you get stopped, rotate the pinkies backwards and then continue that nice big circle. So I don't expect anyone to get all the way behind them, but our goal would be to get your hands a little bit behind that center line of your body. And that would show that you have some good chest flexibility. If you're someone who can very easily dislocate your shoulder, make sure that you're focused on keeping the shoulder blades pulled down, the serratus and the lat engaged here, so that as we go up and around, we're protecting that and we're not pushing past where our shoulders would want to lift. Last one, this direction, and then we're going to switch the direction. So here we're going to go palms facing backwards. Without letting your shoulders dip forward, you're going to press your hands back as far as you can. So if we don't want this, okay, the shoulders up, hands back, rotate the palms to the outside, and then bring those hands around. Palms straight back, shoulders strong, open the palms, and back up and around. Good. All right, are you like me, finding that your chin is dipping forward? Try to find that neutral neck position here. One more. Very nice. We are going to take it down to the ground here to stretch out our quads. We will be on the floor for quite a little bit on the knees. If you find that your knees get sore being on them too long, I want you to do your first one from up here, tucking your tailbone underneath you, driving the knee forward to stretch the quad. Otherwise, we'll come down to our knee. Feel free to grab that cushion, that pillow for your knee here. We're starting with tucking the tailbone underneath us and driving the knee forward to feel that stretch through the quad. Inhale as you come back upright over the knee, and exhale as you press forward. If you start to feel this in the low back, that means you've lost your pelvic tilt, and we're leaning backwards as we lean forward. Think about trying to maintain one line from the knee through the hip and all the way up to the shoulder. Now we will give the knees a bit of a break. Instead of doing all of our variations on one knee, we'll be alternating sides here. So let's go ahead and switch it over to the opposite knee. If you need something to balance with, grab a broomstick, grab a wall. We're tucking that tailbone underneath us, driving the knee forward, keeping the core tight, and keeping that one single line from the knee to the head. Exhale forward, inhale backwards. Start to ask yourself if this feels the same on one leg to the other. Do you feel it more in your hip flexor, or do you feel it more in your thigh? Back up. If you want, you can always add in that reach to really keep stretching out the musculature as you go forward. Not mandatory though. Last one coming up here. Now you can stay on the same leg, or you can give that knee a break, switch it over, and you're going to stick one leg out to the outside. So I'm going to bring my hands down to the ground here. And if we can, ideally, we want the bottom of the foot on the ground, out to the side, like you're trying to stop a soccer ball. If you need to, you can go to the inside of your foot. Just be wary that we're not at a weird angle with the knee. And we're going to lean forward, and then we're going to sit our hips all the way backwards as far as you can, letting that tailbone tuck under. We are going for full range of motion here. If you find that your hip is way up here, I want you to try to pull this hip to the ground to keep the hip line parallel. You're going to get into a nice stretch through that adductor and groin here. You want to start stretching multiple things. You're going to keep those hands planted onto the floor. And as you go forward, give the wrist a little bit of a stretch out here. Exhale backwards. One more of these, then we're going to get a little bit more strict with it. So as you come forward now, I want you to find your neutral spine. That means that I'm not tucking my tailbone and I'm not arching my back. I'm nice and neutral. So I'm only going to sit back as far as I can before my tailbone wants to tuck. That's going to intensify the stretch to the inside of the leg here. Inhale forward, exhale backwards. You're still trying to get as far backwards as you can, however, without letting your pelvis tuck under. That tailbone should be pointing up high behind you on the wall. Good. Go ahead and slowly come out of that. And you're going to switch it over to the opposite leg. The leg goes out to the side, foot flat on the ground if you can. Otherwise, go on the inside of the foot, being very cautious about the knee here. And with the first one, we're going full range of motion. Let your butt tuck under. Try to get your bum all the way back to the heel. I know some of you don't have that flexibility through the knee to be able to go all the way back as I am, and that's okay. Know your limits, play within it. Good. Okay. Next time you come up now, I want you to find that neutral spine. So we're no longer going to let the tailbone tuck. You're going to sit your hips back as far as you can with that flat back, and then you're going to come forward. How does that change where you feel the stretch? Remember, if you want that wrist stretch, plant the hands, spread the fingers, lean forward over top of the hands to get that stretch out through the back of the wrist. And then we come backwards again. The last one here. Good. Bring that knee in, and we are going to flip it over onto our back here. So I'm going to move my pad, and we're going to come into our figure 4 stretch position. So that's where I've let one leg cross over my knee. My opposite foot is still on the ground, and we're going to start with just a little windshield wiper here from one side to the other. So first, really going in to loosen up the low back. Knee to the ground, and then foot to the ground, keeping my back flat on the ground, not letting that lift. If you can't get your knee or your foot to the ground, that's okay. Very nice job. Let's go ahead and switch our legs. And then same thing, windshield wiper. Foot to the ground, knee to the ground. How does that feel on your low back? You should also feel as that foot drops to the ground, you'll feel it to the outside of the hip and the glute here. All right, you can go ahead and uncross your legs, and I want you to straighten one leg here. So as we're going to go through this next piece, you're going to reach your heel as far as you can to the wall behind you, and you're going to at the same time pull this knee into your chest. So you can grab around the knee, or you can grab behind the thigh here, but you're trying to bring this knee forward and your opposite heel backwards at the same time. Okay? And you're going to draw some little circles in your hip. So hug that knee towards you, really testing out what that range of motion is like in your hips, in that pelvis. And you can slowly start making these circles bigger as we go around. Remember to stretch that opposite leg as far behind you. I don't want you letting the legs lift because that's actually going to tilt the pelvis. So by keeping one leg straightened, it's going to keep that pelvis neutral. Let's take that circle now and let's press it in the opposite direction. Draw your circle, nice and loose in that hip. Keep stretching that opposite leg away from you. You might be out here drawing circles, and that's okay. Now, I want you to think about pulling that knee up towards your chest. Maybe you're like me and you get stuck in this position. If I pull my knee out to the side a little bit and then pull it into my armpit, I can go a little bit further, getting a better stretch down the back of my leg. So let's pull that knee up in whatever position you can, as close to your chest as you can, and we're going to hold here for 10 seconds. Stretching the knee towards the hip and the opposite heel away from the body. 3, 2, 1, release. Slowly let that leg go down, switching up. So we straighten the leg we just stretched. Opposite knee comes up, grab behind the knee or in front of the knee, and we're going to draw some little circles here. Start those circles small as we get loosened up, as we start to feel better. You can make the circles bigger and bigger. And now we're going to take that circle off the opposite direction. Remember to start that circle small if you need to. Slowly make it bigger. We're really getting into some squishy points in that hip. And we want to make sure that we're breathing through anything that's trying to take our breath away. Good. Now thinking about what direction you pulled that knee into on the last side. So we're going to go one more circle here. And then we're going to pull that knee up. So if you go up into your chest, you get stuck, try going to the outside. Can you get a little bit more of a pull into your armpit? We're going to hold here for 10 seconds. Finding that breath, you got it. 3, 2, 1, relax. Now let's bend both of those knees, feet flat on the ground. When you look to the side of your hip, you should see both of your feet to the outside of your bum, and you're going to windshield wiper those legs from one side to the other. A little bit of a shake out here. As we drop to the left, our right leg is an internal rotation. That left leg is an external rotation. We've now stretched out all the areas around the hip. And we're going to slowly start sitting up here. So this is the sleeper version of the stretch. No falling asleep here. You can prop yourself up to your elbows. You can prop yourself up to your hands. The farther you're leaning back, the easier this stretch is going to be. I don't ever want my back to round. So you want to keep that nice straight back. But every couple reps, I want you to start walking your hands closer to you and testing both directions. Can I still keep both hands firmly planted on the ground and continue to make my knee go down to the ground? So if you're up here, but you can only do this movement, I want you to back your hands up until where you can get a larger range of movement. It's going to feel squishy. It's going to feel sticky. We want to breathe through those points. But at no point am I letting the hand lift as I rotate. Good. Last one per side here. And now whatever leg your legs just fell to, you're going to sit up nice and tall. If you're really tight here, you can go ahead and put a yoga block under this hip here. So if I elevate this butt cheek with a yoga block or a book to sit on it, it's going to make this a little bit easier. You can also use this hand to give you some leverage to sit up nice and tall. I want a long spine, whether that spine is long pointing this way or long pointing this way, I don't care. What I don't want is a bent and curved spine. So I want you to connect this front knee to the ground. Okay, that's going to stay there. You're going to lean forward over the knee, and then you're going to press your knee into the ground to bring your body back upright. So we're now starting a little bit of activation through that glute, as well as our stretching of the glute. Good. So right now, this is just a little rock forward and backwards with the pelvis, but we're going to turn it into a rotation. So you can move your hands to support you, keeping that spine long, try and turn and look over one shoulder, and then move those hands, support yourself, try to look over the opposite shoulder. This isn't supposed to just be a neck swivel. This is supposed to feel a little rotation through that base of the spine, to that lumbar spine. One more rotation. Now, as you come back, you're going to plant both hands on the ground, one hand on either side of your knee. And now we're dropping our chest towards that knee and coming back up. And you're going to feel that stretch in a different area of the glute. If this back hip is cramping, adjust the leg so that it stops, because we want to be able to focus on this front leg here. We're going to start taking this more into the low back here. Couple more deep exhales as you drop that chest down. And then you're going to walk your hands behind your knee here. And we're going to drop our chest to the ground. And then we're going to hover our body weight from one side to the other. Good. Inhale towards your knee, exhale as you press away, trying to keep that shoulder line parallel to the ground. Now, as you press away from your knee, that's your back elbow. You're going to replace your elbow with the hand. Inhale up in the air as far as you can. Feel that stretch across the chest. And then we're going to exhale and thread the needle underneath us. Inhale up and exhale down. How far behind you are you able to reach? Last one. And then we're going to slowly unwind ourselves. Shake out those legs a couple times from one side to the other. And then let those legs fall to the opposite side. Sitting up nice and tall, adding that yoga block or book underneath your hip if you need to. Using those hands to help you keep that spine really long. We're gluing this front knee to the mat. And then we're rocking forward and backwards in our pelvis. If this is tight and squishy, I want you to breathe through it. When we start to feel that tension, that's our brain perceiving what we're experiencing as pain. And when we're trying to stretch and mobilize, we need relaxation through our muscles. We don't want our body to be straining against it. That's where that breath comes in. Keep the knee planted, but now we're going to go rotation from one side to the other. Trying to keep that spine nice and long. Getting a little rotation as low down in that pelvis as possible. And if you're not able to get down there, think about what's stopping you. That area of your body would need a little bit of attention. As you come back around now, you're going to plant one hand on either side of your knee with a nice long spine. We're exhaling as we drop our chest down and inhaling to come up. Taking this out of the glute and into the low back now. We're going to pull our hands, walk our hands, both of them behind the knee, lowering down into that push-up position, and then we're hovering from one side to the other. Inhale towards the knee, exhale as you press away. Good. Go ahead and drop that back elbow down. Inhale up to really give us chest a good stretch out, and then exhale as you thread the needle underneath you. How far behind you are you able to reach? Don't rush that tight position. Breathe through it. See if you can find some new length. Might take your breath away as it does mine. Last one here. And then we're going to slowly unwind ourselves. Just give ourselves a little bit of a shakeout with the hips. And then we're going to turn it over to the hands and the knees. So I'm going to get my knee pad back out here. We're going to do a quick little cat-cow just to reset after that rotation. Imagining every vertebrae getting a little bit of movement here. Trying to get the tailbone to touch your head behind you, then getting your tailbone to touch your head below you. If you need to take the hips for a little side-to-side stretch, you can. Now we're going to give the chest a little bit of love here. So we're going to take our right arm, which is the opposite one. You're going to take your left arm, and you're going to put it extended in front of you, the pinky on the ground so our palm is pointing in. Take a big, deep inhale. As you exhale, you're going to slide that pinky out and slide down towards that armpit. Then we're going to inhale as we come up, and we're going to exhale to thread the needle underneath us again. Focusing more on that pinky press down and in. And then opening the chest fully, big rotation open, before just a nice gentle rotation underneath us. So each movement is 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale as you slide into the pinky. Inhale as you open the chest up. Exhale as you thread the needle underneath you. And I want you to play around with where your pinky is pointing. Every repetition, do you need to go wider, more out to the side, or do you want that pinky to stay narrow? Where do you feel the best stretch? And last one, good. Let's go ahead and switch it over to the opposite knee, or the opposite side, opposite hand. Inhale, exhale down into that pinky. Inhale, big rotation, opening up the chest. And exhale for a very light thread the needle. Inhale up, exhale into the pinky. Inhale up, exhale down. Good. Couple more here. Playing around with that pinky position. Good. Very nice job. Go ahead and relax. So we're going to switch it over now into our activation. And I'd like you to have a chair or a stool, something sturdy that you can sit on, a couch if you must. And then you may also need a pole or something to help you with. So for our activation today, we're going to do a single leg box squat. So what the exercise looks like in its entirety, one leg up, we're going to stand up, woo, trying to find that stability, and then we're going to sit back down. Modifications. To make it a little bit easier, you're going to put this heel down on the ground. I'm still working through this leg. I get this lean forward over onto my leg. My heel assists me a little bit, but because this leg is straight, I don't get as much help. I'm still getting my work done through here. If you need some help here, you can use your heel and that stick to help you stand up, okay? For some of you, this is not an appropriate exercise. And if that is you, what I want you to do is I want you to plant your feet and you're going to do your external rotations, those glute abductions here. You can put a resistance band around your knees here, okay? So you have a choice. You can do those abductions or you can do your single leg box squat for that stability as well. You have 20 abductions or you have 8 single leg squats per side. We see who's feeling stable this morning. Remember, don't be a hero. Do what's right for you. If you need the assistance from your heel or the pole, I want you to use it. Good, and really controlling all the way down. And as you switch legs, you're going to notice which leg is stronger. Are we letting our knee cave in? If this knee goes inward, that means your glute is shutting off and your knee is taking all the pressure. So if we look at this, we want our knee to be out here. That gets the glute going and keeps that knee in a nice straight line. Good. I've got 3 left here on this side. We're only doing 1 round. Don't worry. Don't let those knees cave in. Knees stay out. And relax. Nice work. All righty. We are going to start with our first leg exercise here. As it is a build day, I'm going to combine 2 leg exercises together in the same circuit. We're going to go 4 rounds through this. We're going to do a squat, and then we're going to do a lunge, and then we're going to rest. So you're going to do your squat. You're going to do one side of your lunge, then we rest. That's where we get the 4 rounds from. So you're doing 4 sets of squats, but you're only doing 2 rounds per side of each of your lunges. The squat that we're going to do today is a bit of a sumo squat. I don't want you way out here. We think about where our normal squat stance is. I just want you to take another step out to the side. Our heels are closer together than our toes are. We want those toes to flare out. That's going to help us get these glutes to work. But as we're squatting down, I want your knees pointing the same direction over your toes. I'm going to hesitate to have you go way out to the side here, as that is really tough on our pelvis to go that wide. Thinking like 30 to 45 degree out to the side for those toes. With weights, it's hard to put a resistance band here for it. You can go body weight, down and up. You can add 1 dumbbell here like this. I'm demonstrating with my little ones because they're shaped like regular dumbbells. Or you could add 2 dumbbells like this. So you have your choice of what equipment that you're going to use. Your second exercise is going to be a reverse lunge. So you have 2 options here. Option easier on the knees is going to be to find something to lean into or hold on to. Standing on one leg, how far backwards can I tap my toe? And I'm not putting any pressure on that toe. All my body weight stays on one leg and I'm using that glute to come back up. Tap the toe back, squeeze the glute. This is an appropriate exercise for anybody who has really bad knees or anyone who would like to emphasize our glutes working versus our quads working. This is a more glute dominant variation of a lunge. Remember, on round 1, you're only doing one leg there. If you'd like to target more quads here, we're going to do a step back lunge. You're going to step back, drop the knee down, and then you're going to come back up. If you want to keep this as glute dominant, you're going to lean forward into the front leg here. If you want to really work your quads, you're going to keep your chest upright today. So you have a lot of options with those lunges. Dumbbells can go here. You can use no weight. It is the second exercise after your squat, so the legs will already be a little bit more tired. So for this one, we are going 45 seconds of work with our squat, You're going to have a short 10-second interval to switch up any equipment that you might want to, and then we're going to hop into our 30-second of a lunge. And we're repeating that 4 times. So grab your water, grab your equipment. And we're going to get started here in 10 seconds. Okay. So we're starting with our squat. It is round number 1 of work, so you don't have to go super heavy yet, or you can if you like. We are into our first sumo squat, down and up. Knees pointing the same direction as the toes. With the sumo squat, I like to say I feel it more in the under butt. Especially as you come right up to the top, give a good glute squeeze. Inhale, exhale. Good work. Keep that core nice and tight. Where's your rib cage? Are you letting it flare up, or are you keeping it tucked in nice and tight with the core? Got 10 seconds to go. Good. All right. 10 seconds rest here, switching over to your lunge. I'm not going to use any equipment with my lunge today. I'm going to start round 1 with my touchback lunge. So with the touchback lunge, you need something to hold on to. We've started, by the way. You need something to hold on to so that you can really get that toe far backwards. Really focusing on this glute to push me forward. You got it. Inhale, exhale, rest. You should have one really tired leg right now and one leg that's not too tired. We're going to do our squats again, and then we're going to do that opposite side lunge. So whatever lunge variation you picked for that leg, unless you're dealing with an injury and working around it, you should put the same variation for the next one. What I want you to focus on this set of squats is your core. So we don't want to be here arching the back, and that's where you'll feel that rib cage flared. Think about as you come up to the top, tucking that tailbone underneath and locking your pubic bone into your rib cage. So I'm fully engaged here. My glutes are fully squeezed as well. 10 seconds, we start round number 2. We've got our 45 seconds of sumo squats and then our opposite lunge that we haven't done yet. Here we go. Sumo position, knees the same direction over the toes. Making sure that we're coming right up, tucking that tailbone underneath, locking in the abs, locking in the glutes. Find your breath, you got it. What's nice about having the dumbbell up here is it encourages you to not to lean forward, or that weight will pull you forward. Good, 10 seconds to go. Last one. Rest. Over to our lunge now, but we're using the opposite leg. Okay, short little rest. Same variation you picked on the last one. How far can you tap back? Then squeeze that butt cheek right up. I'm not actually pressing off my back leg in this variation. It's a tap and up. I want you to take note over where your front knee is pointing in whatever variation you're in right now. Is it pointing straight forward? Is it pointing in? Rest. Whew. We are halfway, 2 more rounds here. Let's talk knees on our lunges. We did this a little bit, talked about it on our warm-up exercise. Our knee can do this. My foot is still firmly planted, but I've got some wobble. This is internal rotation. That's the glute shutting off, and you can also see this weird angle of the knee. If I go out as far as I can, it's not that far. I've got nice straight alignment here, and I can feel this working. This is what we want to work to take pressure off the knee. So whether we chose a lunge variation that's upright or leaning forward, we still want to keep this leg out to the side. So that's your focus for this next set of lunges. But here we are, round number 3 of our sumo squats. Inhale down, exhale up, lock the core, lock the glutes. Good. Nice work. We've got about 10 seconds left here. Round number 3. Plant those big toes. 1, rest. All right, round 3, which means you can switch to a new lunge variation if you like. I'm going to do a step back lunge here, no weight, keeping my body upright, so I'm targeting my quads, but still making sure that this knee isn't going in. I want it to stay slightly externally rotated with that glute turned on. If you find you're really wobbly, I want you to see where this foot is when you step back. Are you on a tightrope here, or are you giving yourself the stability of being hip distance apart? Rest. Very nice job. One final round here. And on this, I want you to think about where your big toes are. There are certain muscle fibers through the pelvic floor and the glutes that only turn on when they get that big toe pressed into the ground. So on your squats, on your lunges, whatever foot is planted, we're pressing heel and big toe into the ground here. All right. 15 seconds, we start our 4th and final round, and then we leave the legs in the dust for the day and we move on to upper body. Okay. Toes slightly flared out, find the heel, find that big toe. Here we go. Really all the way up, tuck that pelvis underneath, squeeze the bum. You got it. Really give a good squeeze at the top. Even if you don't have a large range of motion, that's okay. Nice work. Inhale, exhale. Okay, give me one more squat here. Done. All right, remember what leg you used last time. We're using the opposite leg for our last set of lunges. Here we go. Slide back and in. Remember, if you're tapping your toe back, all of your body weight stays in that front leg. Getting that overload of the muscles with the 2 leg exercises back to back. I would anticipate a little soreness after this today. Last one. Done. Bravo. Grab a little bit of water here. I'm going to switch up my equipment. We are doing push-ups next, so you're going to want to find a surface to support your hands that's appropriate for you. The higher your hands are off the ground, the easier it will be. But you also want to make sure that we can do it with a nice strict push-up. So we don't want our push-ups to be out here. This always feels easier because we're recruiting our shoulders and our chest. When we do our push-ups with the elbows tight towards our body, we're turning off the shoulders, we're isolating the chest. So when I do that, I do have to elevate myself up off the ground here. So I'm using these bars. You can use a desk, you can use a bench, you can use a coffee table, anything you have. Back of the couch works well. Just please make sure it's not going to slide out from under you. And we're going to follow some tempo here. So we're going to go slow on the way down, elbows tuck in, pause, and fast on the way up. Okay? Slow, pause, and fast. If you don't have anything to elevate your hands up on, or there's nothing steady, you're going to do this as a hand release push-up. So you can come down to the ground, Start in that tall plank position and very slowly lower yourself all the way down to the ground and then get yourself back up however you need to. Even just resisting your body weight, keeping those elbows tucked in will be a good way to get the chest working, okay? Even if you're not pressing up off the floor, you've got a lot of options there. Your second exercise that we're gonna do is for your triceps. So we're gonna take a dumbbell, right? And you can do this seated or you can do this standing. You're gonna hold that dumbbell up over your head here. Same thing as we did with our push-ups. Let me go from my knees here. Keep the elbows pulled together as you bend your arms behind you, and you're gonna extend those arms up, down, and pressing up, okay? This isn't gonna be right for everyone. It's not going to work. It's gonna feel awkward on shoulders. So if that's you, you're gonna do it as a single arm variation. Holding one light dumbbell, you're gonna bend that hand behind you, and then you're gonna straighten your arm, really working this tricep muscle here, okay? We're gonna go 4 rounds regardless of which variation you've picked. 4 rounds of push-up into that tricep extension. So if you only have heavier dumbbells, this might be the right one. If you don't have heavy enough for 2 arms, go ahead and do the single arm, even if you don't have any shoulder problems. Find a way you can really work those triceps well, all right? So same format as last time, 45 seconds of push-ups, 10 seconds to switch it up, and then 30 seconds of your tricep extensions. So let's get ready to go. We start in 5. Here we go. Slow, controlled push-ups on the way down, elbows tucked in, and get yourself back up however you need to, or nice and fast. Inhale and exhale. If you feel your chest working, you need to tuck those elbows in a little bit more. Sorry, if you feel your shoulders working, tuck those elbows into the side. 15 seconds to go. You got it. Last one. Done. All right, we are going now to our tricep extension. I'm going to do this as a single arm variation because I do have awkward dumbbells for it, or dumbbells that are too heavy or too light. So my elbow is staying at the same point in space. I'm bending that arm behind me, and then I'm straightening that arm up. Going to work on our shoulder mobility. Remember, we're only doing one arm at a time here. This is the muscle you want to be working. Rest. All right. Now that you've got one tired tricep, we're going to go back to those push-ups. What I'd like you to focus on this time with your push-ups is where your shoulder blades are. We should feel our shoulders engaged. If we're here, we're going to be working shoulders. So the entire time you're doing your push-ups, you want to think about having those shoulder blades pinched together. I'm just going to drop to a bit of a lower variation of a push-up for myself. So same thing here, slow on the way down, pinching those shoulder blades together, pushing yourself back up, okay? We start here in 5 seconds for round number 2. Here we go, elbows tuck in, shoulder blades pinch together, press yourself away. Take a rest at the top if you need to. It's not a race to get as many push-ups in as you can. Inhale as we go down, exhale up. Getting creative with your equipment if you need to make it harder. I might have gone too far here. Shoulder blades engaged, chest proud. You got it. 10 seconds to go. Three, 2, 1, relax. I was a little ambitious with that one for a tempo push-up. Okay, opposite arm you used last time, up overhead, bending that elbow behind your head and extending upright. Good. And I want you to think about how hard you're squeezing that dumbbell right now. Regardless of whether you're one arm or two arms, you should have your hand slid to one side of the dumbbell. So you're pushing up with that heel of your hand. One more rep. Rest. Good work. Oh, I got to find something higher to do my push-ups on. So that one was too low. But I don't have my other stool on me. I'm just going to grab it quickly. For our third round here, we're going to be really focusing on our hand position. So I want you to look when you're doing your push-ups, are your hands in like this? We want those middle fingers pointing forward. That's going to keep the shoulders in our neutral position. Okay, so fingertips forward. As soon as my hands go in, my elbows are going to want to go out. So fingers pointing forward. We have round 3 of our push-ups coming up in 5 seconds. Here we go. Slow on the way down, middle fingers forward. Press yourself away, keeping those elbows tucked in. Inhale, exhale. Staying over top of the hands. Are you pushing yourself back here or are you staying up? Good, you got it. 15 seconds to go. Couple more reps here. Keep those elbows tucked in. Giving myself the cue, the room to remember more than anything else. Rest. All right, I'm going to sit for my next set of these because I'm pretty tired. Tricep extensions. Here we go. Heel of that hand. So I've got the heel of my hand right against the side. So I can grip that dumbbell a little on the looser side. If this is really bothering your shoulders, go ahead and do a tricep extension backwards if you need to. So pick that other variation. Otherwise, we want those elbows close to our head. Some of you, I see you're out here right now. Pull the elbows in. Rest. You know, I've got a love-hate relationship with push-ups. They're really good for us. But why is it that all those exercises where we have to push our own body weight around are so hard? So I love doing them, but I hate doing them all at the same time. We've got one final round left here of push-ups. Your arms should be getting tired. Working the triceps at the same time is cruel on my part because it is a secondary muscle used on the push-up. But we're strong and we're capable, so we're going to keep going with it. This is our last round for our upper body, and then we get to stretch. You got this. Here we go. Inhale and exhale. Keep those elbows tucked in, shoulder blades pinched together, chest directly over top of your hands in whatever position you chose. And just remember, you chose this position. Good. Ooh, we've got 10 seconds left. Couple good reps here. We got it. Last one. Good. Rest. All right, last set of triceps. Opposite arms, one you've only done one time now. Here we go. Keep that core engaged here, especially if you're feeling any pain in that low back. Done. Nice work. Very good job. Go ahead and put those weights down, grab a drink of water, and let's go ahead and cross one leg over. If you don't have a seat to sit in, you can lay on your back for the figure 4 stretch. That looks like this here. Pulling in with that one leg crossed over. If you want to do the lazy version like me, we sit. Sitting up nice and tall though, if you're in your seated version. On the floor, the floor keeps your back straight. Seated, you have to do that work. And then we just lean forward over top of those legs. Feel that stretch to the outside of this hip and glute here. Release and switch. This side definitely tighter for me. You can see how much higher that knee is. Focusing on sitting up nice and tall and then leaning forward if we have the capability to do so. Go ahead and release. Take one arm over your top of your head. You're going to reach down your back here, and then you're going to pull your elbow across, trying to walk your fingertips as far down your spine as you can. So we should be feeling that stretch right down here. And if you want to take it a little farther from a standing position, you can lean into it and feel that stretch go into the armpit and down into the lat as well. Totally optional on that side lean. Come on up, switch sides. Pull into that tricep stretch, walking the fingertips down your spine. And then if you want, you can lean into it. Nice big deep breath here, especially if that heart rate's still elevated. Undo. And I want you to find something strong that you can put your arm against. So this door frame works really well for this. If you have it, elbow in line with your shoulder, you're going to turn yourself away, trying to feel that stretch right through the front of the chest and into that sternum. Chin nice and high here. You can use a wall, you can use a door frame, you can use a squat rack, anything that's not going to move on you. Now let's release. I want you to slide your hands up. So now I've got this 45-degree angle upwards at the elbow. And now as I turn away, I'm going to feel the stretch more emphasized from my shoulder down to my rib cage. Go ahead and release. Switch it over to the opposite side here. So I'm going to put my opposite arm up there. Elbow is in line with my shoulder to start. As I turn away, looking for that stretch horizontally into my sternum. You can release, slide that hand up. So we've got our 45-degree angle upwards, and then we're pulling back in. All right, last thing we have to stretch for today are our thighs. So if you have the range of motion, you're going to reach back and grab an ankle here and hold into your standing flamingo stretch. If you don't have that same mobility and range of motion, you're going to go into a short lunge. You're going to tuck your tailbone underneath and then drop your back knee down. And you should feel that stretch through the front of the thigh here. So you can pick whichever one works for you. Go ahead and release, switch it over to the opposite side. Flamingo stretch or staggered stance, we're stretching the back leg, tuck that tailbone underneath, and then hard tailbone tuck as you drop that back knee to get that stretch right through here. And release. Nice work today. That is all we have.